Holy smokes. Is this a Go Live podcast? It's not dead? Hell no, it's not dead. It is me, Jason Germino. I am back, and this episode is going to go over the Microsoft acquisition of Activision and Blizzard. And as a bonus in the second half, I'm going to go over the top games I'm excited for the year 2022. Sounds fun, doesn't it? You know it is. It's going to be fantastic. Anyway, on to the show. Hey everyone, it's me, Jason Germino, aka Klutz Leo, and it's been a while, but it's now time for another episode of Go Live. I hope everyone's doing well. I apologize for having such a gap in episodes. We had a lot of family stuff going on and health stuff going on, so I had to cut way back on not only this, but the website and games in general. Like I haven't played anything in a while. So it's beginning of the year, January 2022. And we are 18 days in and had a major news hit. So for those of you who don't know or haven't seen Twitter or the internet this today, again, it's the 18th of January. Microsoft has acquired Activision, Blizzard, and King, which it's an interesting one, but it's the whole group of companies. So I'm gonna dive into that real quick. Just quick ideas off the top of my head. And at the end, I'm gonna go over some of my games I'm looking forward to in 2022. So I got a small list. It's not crazy. Most of these you've probably heard or seen previews for. Maybe some of them you haven't. And I hope that it triggers something and you keep your eye out on something new that you weren't paying attention for earlier. So it'd be great. So without further ado, let's dive into it. So like I said earlier, Microsoft acquires Activision, Blizzard, and King. Activision, of course, is the Call of Duty god. Blizzard, World of Warcraft, StarCraft, Overwatch, and King is Candy Crush. So this is a major acquisition. This was like $65 billion of an acquisition. Granted, it's not done. Both sides have agreed to it, so it's basically the attorney's game now. They're going to get everything situated. The biggest thing is Activision Blizzard was recently in the news. Recently, as in, I actually had a podcast around the idea around it, where they had so much harassment and such in the workplace that it became worldwide news. Employees had walkouts. Fellow people in the gaming industry stood up and shared their stories, and it was not a good time for Activision at all. And it's still really bad, and the CEO is still there, and there's been proof that he's been part, if not most of the problem, because he's in charge. So what does that mean for Microsoft that's now acquiring these three major players? King, obviously a major player in the mobile market. Blizzard's been around since DOS. Activision's been around for a long time. This is a huge acquisition for Microsoft. This is massive, and I want to kind of share my feelings around it, not as a fanboy of the PlayStation, not as a fanboy of Microsoft, not as a fanboy of PC gaming or Nintendo fanboy. This is coming from me as a gaming fanboy in general. How much I just enjoy games. How I have a website. Anything goes. I don't have a problem with any company. I don't think one company's better. I don't think one company is dominating the market. I don't like playing that type of game. I don't like, I mean, if those of you who've been around for a while, Ryan and I go back and forth a lot. He's a big Microsoft guy. I enjoy Sony a lot of we both like the exclusives. We both like to talk trash. It's all tongue in cheek. We understand how the market works, and we're fans of gaming in general. But it's fun to pick on each other. But one of the things I want to bring up first is I don't really like this acquisition. I don't like it to the point of you have a large corporation, which is Microsoft, a huge corporation, and is buying other large corporations. Activision, Blizzard, King, they are massive companies with a massive amount of employees. So I feel like this is ultimately going to have a negative effect. It maybe not right away, maybe not in the near future, but I'm thinking that other companies such as Sony and Nintendo, and I mean any other company that has money, maybe Ubisoft, maybe EA, they may start trying to pick up these gaming companies to try to keep up with Microsoft. Like acting like these companies are like Pokemon. Like if you don't have other studios under you with exclusive games, is it going to start phasing some of these companies out? Or are these other companies going to start looking for buyers? Like, hey, we don't really want to do this anymore. We don't really like the idea of handling our own finances. We'd rather just, be done with it and just sell ourselves out and keep the development team on, but everyone else up above just bounce out with a fat check. I mean, why not? I'm really curious if this is going to start like a downhill snowball of people just trying to gather things up and become the biggest snowball on the bottom of the hill, which I don't know if that will ever happen. Again, I just don't like the idea of, I understand acquiring, understand the purchases, I understand business and stuff like that. I just personally just don't care for the idea of it. Secondly, I feel like a lot of this, the way I feel negatively about it is that I feel like it's going to kill competition in the realm of Xbox. And this is just me from the outside looking in and trying to look forward to the future of maybe 5 to 6 years. I mean, I don't feel like this is not going to, I don't think it's going to kill competition in the way of like Sony versus Microsoft. I don't think it's going to, I don't think the console is going to be a problem. I think in the way I'm thinking is the way of game developers wanting to compete against other game developers. So how does that look when you acquire Activision and Blizzard and you have other studios under you who used to have, quote unquote, rivalries with these people, with these companies? So with Xbox at the helm, I don't know how that's going to go out. Just like Disney, they're not going to release a Marvel movie around the same time as a Star Wars movie, or they have to, or Pixar movies don't come out the same time Disney movies do. Like they clearly know when and how to release things, so other things aren't stepping on the toes of their own intellectual properties. So is that how Xbox is going to handle this? Like, you now have a massive amount of hard-hitting developers like Obsidian, Bethesda, Activision Blizzard. Like, you're making some crazy things. So now are you going to be, or is Xbox going to have to worry about when something's going to launch? Are they going to have to kind of plan around other launches and making sure Overwatch 2, if that becomes a thing, doesn't launch around Call of Duty? Because you're looking at very competing games that are competitive shooters, but if they're under your under your belt, like, are you really going to release them at the same time, even if they're both done? Like, how's that going to work out? I don't know. And this is me just thinking, I guess, worst case scenario. It may not ever come true. And honestly, just to say it now, I hope it doesn't. Like, as a gamer, I really want everyone to succeed. I want all these games to succeed, because if they succeed, we as gamers succeed. Like, if they fail, we're gonna fail. It's our money. Sure, they have some financial backing and stuff in some of these companies, but most of their stuff is from our wallet. Like, you would think that, not that we would have a say, but ultimately we will, if we're not going to show them our money and, and just not support them anymore. So I'm really confused on, not confused, but more concerned on things staying stagnant. I feel like competition also kind of forces other companies to think outside the box, sparks creativity. And I think you wanting to one up someone really allows your product to shine and be better. And it pushes the innovation where you may not get if you're only competing internally. I guess that makes sense. But again, that's kind of an extreme thought I had when I first heard of all this stuff, is who are they going to compete with when most of their competition is in the same house, besides the Battlefield and Call of Duty kind of showdown. I mean, you're going to be all under the same roof. How does that work out? How does that play out? Do some games kind of disappear? Do they, kill one IP and merge it with another one to try to make it fresh and clean? I mean, who knows? It'd be great. I don't know. I'm really interested to see how this all plays out. Again, for us as gamers, how does this look in the future? What's going to be the best thing to do? And this next one is more of my personal thought idea. I mean, you can agree with me or disagree with me. That's fine. That's the whole point of life. You don't have to agree with everything. But I mean, let me just dive into it. So I don't feel that Microsoft recently has done well with any of their exclusives over the recent years. Like, that really doesn't feel like they're hard-hitting exclusives like the other consoles have. Granted, Game Pass has been a huge opportunity for Microsoft, and they have dominated that. It's been such a great thing for them. It's a great thing for gamers. Awesome value for what you get out of it. And all their exclusives are already going to be on Game Pass. So you don't have to buy a game. You just have to keep making sure your subscription is live and you can play anything you want. It's fantastic. But I feel like a lot of their IPs they've been banking on through Xbox 360, Xbox One have basically faded at this point. The only one I know is probably doing great with existing fans is Forza. Halo's formula doesn't seem to work like it used to, meaning it's not as quick pace and as competitive as the battle royales, the Call of Duties, Battlefields that are out now. It seemed like, I don't want to call it a flash in the pan, but it was really popular for the first couple of weeks it was out. I don't hear anything more on it. I would love to see how many people still play this game in Halo. Granted, you're gonna have some heavy fan base that are gonna continue playing it, but I think a lot of people that played the Call of Duty, played the battle royales, they'll hop on Halo for a bit, get themselves burnt out on it, and go back to what they're used to in competitive wise. Again, Forza has been good. Recently, Sea of Thieves has been fantastic, but it has been hit and miss for the first year or so it was released. It's finally got some traction, but again, that game's about 4 or 5 years old already, so it definitely could be using a facelift or some sort of upgrade, a new feature, something to kind of get it going. Gears of War is basically done. There isn't much more they can really do with that. I think they tried a couple things that didn't pay off like they expected it to. Fable has been dead until recently. And these were games that sold consoles back in the day, and they're not anymore. Like the games that are selling consoles these days are either battle royales or sports games for Xbox. There really isn't a lot other kind of going for them right now. But they have so many companies under their belt now. They have an insane lineup coming out within the next couple of years. It's gonna be absolutely insane. And I'm super excited to see these starting to take off and pay off for Microsoft, because they put a lot of money. They're putting a shit ton of money in these types of games. And these companies expecting a huge payout, expecting probably double their Game Pass once they start coming out. I mean, having them not only on Xbox but PC gamers are going to jump all over this stuff. I may have to up my license to a PC Ultimate. I didn't buy an Xbox Series because I have a decent PC and I love playing on PC all the time. So there's no reason for me to continue, my Xbox Live. But now all this stuff's coming out. I'm thinking about giving them more money, which I feel stupid about, but what it is. And the other thing I want to kind of bring up is a lot of Microsoft's exclusives are live and breathe because of multiplayer. And I feel like in this day and age, with the Fortnite is still, a ton of players in it. You have the Call of Duty, the Call of Duty Battle Royale. You have the, Battlefield has their own stuff now. PUBG just went free. There's all these games that are very competitive. And I feel like if you only have exclusives that are mostly multiplayer, you're really cornering the gamers of that market. Because if you don't solely focus on that game to get better and level up, or learn the mechanics, start becoming good at the game and becoming a force to be reckoned with, or you're gonna have to invest not only your time but money to get better or to do unlocks and stuff like that. You're looking at a lot of burnout on some of these gamers. I mean, like myself, I don't play that many multiplayer games anymore because I don't have time to invest in it. And when I do have time, say I have an hour here or there, I hop in and I just get my ass handed to me. It's not worth me playing anything. That's why I haven't even tried Halo, because I know I'm going to get my shit kicked in. I don't play Forza because I'm not very good at racing games, one, even though it looks cool when you play with other people. Like, I'm just going to get smoked. There's no reason for me to do that. Fables look great because it's mostly single player, but they also added the co-op where someone can come in your game and help you out. I think that's fantastic. That's the type of multiplayer and co-op that I think kind of needs to come back to some of these story games. Because if there's a number that I remember, it was a couple years ago, where most of Call of Duty players never touch the campaign, never touch it, and Call of Duty's been talking about this for years, and they go and release their multiplayer for free, just like Halo did, which is smart. People don't care about the story anymore. They just want to hop in and be competitive. And I feel like the difference between Sony and Microsoft is a lot of Sony's single player games are their exclusives. Spider-Man, God of War, Last of Us, Uncharted. All these games, they have either no multiplayer or they have multiplayer second. You want to play the story first. The multiplayer is just something fun to continue on the game. That's really how they design it. I don't know if this is how they're trying to plan around it or what, but these games like Uncharted has a major motion picture coming out this year. Last of Us has its own TV show coming out. Like, these games that are so focused on the story, they're starting to pay off for Sony, because now they're getting money from more than just the game. Now they're going to have this whole world built on a completely different medium. Like, it's going to be played through a screen, but you're not controlling it. You're watching people play through and expand the world that you already love and enjoyed already, which is crazy. But I feel like, again, I feel like, I hope I'm wrong. This is just stuff that came into my head first as negative things. There's some fantastic positive things as well, such as, like I mentioned, the games are going to be coming to PC. It's not just Xbox. It's a huge powerhouse of games. If Microsoft can keep the quality control handled, it's going to be unreal, unreal. But some of the, like I said, some of their exclusives hasn't really shown their value to me, besides the idea of Game Pass, where I don't need to spend $70 to buy a game. I can just spend $70 within 2 months and I can play 4 games. I can play 100 games. It doesn't matter. That's the value of the Game Passes. You don't have to physically buy a game anymore. That's a whole nother podcast, which I may have already done. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's kind of late. It's been a long day. Whether you like physical copies or digital copies is a whole different thing. But now, this is where I feel like would be really fun, is if Microsoft allowed their IPs to intermingle between these developers. And I think having a fresh take on a game, especially an existing world and IP, and have someone completely do something different, I think it would be so amazing. So, like, let's say Activision, Microsoft's like, Activision, I want you to make a first-person shooter Fallout game. We understand Fallout has the VAT system. We know Fallout is usually wander around, loot as much as you can, and kill people in your way, or talk your way out of it. Let's just call it Fallout Frontline, and everyone is a soldier, either fighting other people, team-based combat, going against mutants, super mutants, like just no story, minor RPG elements, but you're doing a shooter. Basically, make Call of Duty, but in a Fallout world. I think that'd be fun to see. I think the same thing, or Blizzard, it's like, hey, Blizzard, you do really good RTSs between Warcraft and StarCraft. Let's do one around Gears of War or Sea of Thieves. I want you to put ships on the map. I want you to, upgrade your ships and be like you have a crew and stuff. And I feel like there's stories to be told for many of these worlds. Now let's just be broader. Any world out there, someone has a fantastic story that will fit in there and people would love. Amazing stories to tell, and people are willing to eat those stories up. But the problem is when you have one studio doing it over and over again and you bring the same people back, a lot of times I feel like games get stagnant, or they get rushed, or they keep the same formula and nothing changes. And I feel like to this day, the greatest thing Nintendo has done was for the Switch, besides, the physical aspect of the Switch, is Nintendo letting Ubisoft have Mario and make Mario plus Rabbids. I thought that was the greatest thing Nintendo has done. Other than that, like, I haven't been that impressed with the games that Nintendo has released themselves. Granted, the games are fun. I'm not saying the games aren't fun. I'm not saying that, don't waste your money on a Switch. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying for me as a gamer, I feel like that was one of the coolest things, because Mario was out of his element. Completely different gameplay that a lot of people weren't used to. The strategy in a Mario game, besides the RPGs, which have just been force fed to trash lately. But I think if Microsoft started allowing IPs to flow in between these companies, I think it would be absolutely fucking amazing, and I would love to see that. I mean, we're talking about in the Discord that Activision has Spyro and Crash Bandicoot, which used to be almost the mascot of PlayStation 1. They have Blizzard has Overwatch, StarCraft, Warcraft, and I think there's so much potential in sharing under the same roof as there is just seeing what Microsoft is going to do. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff coming out, and the biggest payout, which would be coming later this year, is probably going to be Starfield from Bethesda. Like, is this going to be a legit game? Is this going to be a broken Bethesda game like it always is? And you buy it day one, you play it, and then you have to start over again in 2 weeks because they finally patched, the glitch that just kills you immediately in the game or whatever. Like like New Vegas was. It's such trash, and eventually it fixed everything. There's a lot to look forward to. As a gamer, it's exciting. As a fanboy, you're probably not excited. You either love the idea, you hate the idea. I am trying to be very optimistic about this idea, but I feel like there's some holes that we're not going to know if this is going to be a payoff or not until 5 or 6 years down the road. So, for example, Bethesda was already making Starfield, and by the time they were acquired, Starfield was already like 70% done, more than half done at least. Let's assume like that doesn't have very much of the Microsoft, hands on it. We're going to see years down the road what everything's going to look like. Maybe they won't do anything. Maybe they'll be cutthroat. Maybe they'll be like, you know what? Release the game when you want to release this game. You give me a timeline. It's going to be launched. If it coincides with another game that one of our other developers are doing, that's not our fault. Fuck them. They can figure it out. Like, if they're kind of like that and allow that competitiveness inside their own brand, I think that would be awesome as well, because the only people that are going to win are us. Like, there's no negative side to that if they're going to be fighting to make the best game possible. I'm super excited to see that. So again, I know a lot of the stuff I said was negative. There's a ton of positive stuff around it too. I'm really hoping that the bottom line is Activision gets cleaned up, Blizzard gets cleaned up. We don't hear any more about harassment from these companies, and the people that are employed do what they do best, and what they were trained to do almost their whole life is to make us an escape in a game. And I really hope that continues. So with that, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to dive into a very quick second half of my games of 2022 to look at. So I will catch you guys after the ad break. Hey everyone, it's Jason, aka Colette's Leo. I just want to jump in real quick and explain a little bit of the software we're using to create these podcasts now. We are currently using Anchor.fm. This is a fantastic little software that you're able to record and edit and distribute for free. It is really one of the easiest things I have used to create a podcast, and I've created a few mediocre ones in the past. Besides being free, you can create and record and edit and do everything not only on your computer but also on your phone, which is fantastic. You don't even need a PC. It also means that you can record your ideas anywhere you are in the world as long as you have your phone with you. It really is mind-blowing. You can do all the editing directly from the screen of your phone. Another amazing thing that it does, which really was difficult when I was doing this before, is it will distribute the podcast for you. It will send this out to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts. And right now, I am literally recording my own sponsorship ad. You can do this yourself with no minimum listenership. You just need to jump in and do it. Everything you can do to make a podcast is really an Anchor. If you have the slightest bug to create it and get your voice heard by people, this is absolutely the easiest way to do it. Download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor.fm to get started. Believe me, you will love it. Hey everyone, welcome back. It's me again, Jason Germino, and we are on the second half of this podcast. Thank you so much for hanging out. Again, I apologize for having such a gap in between these things. Life can be rough sometimes, but you know what else is going to be rough? Our freaking bank accounts in 2022, because there is some awesome stuff coming out. I'm going to announce some of the games that I am really looking forward to in 2022. This does not mean that I am going to play every one of these, nor buy every one of these, but they are making me excited to see what they do. I'll probably play them in the future. Maybe they'll go on sale. I don't have time. Most of my time has been dedicated to the website and trying to get reviews and stuff done. So, so games for fun sometimes doesn't happen. So it's a hit and miss. But let's continue. So one of the newer games that actually is going to come out fairly soon is the new Pokemon Legends game. That game looks interesting to me. It kind of reminds me of like Breath of the Wild, but Pokemon, and then you can throw the Pokeball at the Pokemon and automatically start battles and stuff, which makes it quicker. They're trying to add a bunch of different things to it and bring some innovation to a game that's been around since, you know, the mid 90s, late 90s. So I'm really excited to see where this one does. Am I gonna be playing it? Probably not. Nintendo games really don't go on sale that much, and I don't have that much time to play a game like that to go in and try to catch all the Pokemon. But yeah, it looks super fun. I'm gonna say another one would look forward to is Lost Ark from Amazon. This looks like a Diablo kind of clone, and it's free. It looks like it's gonna be free to play, but you can pitch in now and of course get like fancier items on launch and whatnot. It seems to be doing fairly well for the people that have been kind of playing it around and stuff like that. So that's another one. This will be the second Amazon game that's come out within a year. The RPG did pretty well when it first launched, but I don't think I think it lost a lot of its fan base after a while, which is great with no monthly fee, so anyone can just pick it up as soon as they, they start dropping more content. This one being a PlayStation exclusive, Horizon Forbidden West. If you played the original Horizon, a fairly fun game. The story was pretty interesting. It's a really interesting world in the way it happened. Of course, it's going to be in California where I'm at, so you got a lot of landmarks and stuff, which is kind of cool. The biggest one that everyone freaks out over, Elden Ring. This looks like again, it's probably not a game I'm going to play, but just looking at it, it looks like it's going to have some good time on their hands, and people are going to get some good playtime out of Elden Ring. I'm excited to see how people like that. This next game is absolutely fucking bonkers, but I am not going to get enough of it. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Holy goddamn, that game looks fun. Borderlands 2 was such a great game, and I'm so excited to see Tiny Tina get some time to herself. I think it's fantastic. I think it's what some of these companies need to do. Again, mentioning the first half is don't use the same formula. Expand on these characters that people already love, and just do something crazy that doesn't looks fun on paper. And if it's fun on paper, it's probably fun to play. So try it out. Just try things. All I ask. This one's super fun. I'm a huge fan of Starship Troopers, the whole world around it. Starship Troopers Terran Command. It's a real-time strategy game where you're building bases and fighting bugs and stuff, and it just looks so much fun because it's just mass chaos with the bugs everywhere, and I'm excited to see how that plays out. Next one I want to say is Saints Row. That looks like a real fun game. I was a huge fan of the humor and the over-the-topness that the original Saint Rows have, and this looks, the last couple of videos they've shown, it looks like it's just gonna be the same as before, just crazy over-the-top action. Humor is gonna be out there, kind of rebooting the whole Saints Row story. Like, it's a completely different new thing, and I feel like it's about time for the Saints Row world to have something like this again. We may start seeing more of this happen if Saints Row succeeds, that more companies are going to start, let's get new characters for people to love. We've told the original story. There's more stories that will fit in this type of universe. Let's just let it rip. One I mentioned earlier, Starfield RPG from Bethesda. Sci-fi. I love it. I fucking love it so much. Will I buy it day one? I really, really want to. But again, it's Bethesda, so do I expect it to break? Do we have better quality control? I don't know what to expect. I really don't. but I really want it to succeed because I think we need more sci-fi RPGs. There hasn't been a real solid one since Mass Effect, and even that is kind of dropped down. Now I'm gonna go off, the AAA games for a second here. Let's talk about Cursed to Golf. And if you haven't seen the screens or the videos for this, it looks absolutely insane. I think it starts with you in the underground, and you have to golf your way out of the underworld. So, if you ever played Golf Story, and you can basically, you shooting golf balls off anything, and you different things you can do. This is looks like a Metroidvania almost, where it's like a 2D side scroller, and you're hitting monsters and you're banking them off of walls and hitting things to, triggering doors and stuff so you can continue on. It just looks so good, and it's such a new idea that I am absolutely sold on it, and I can't wait for that to come out. If anyone's enjoys kind of quirky sports games, this quirk is gonna be awesome. I can't wait for it. The other one, which I'm hoping that I can probably snag, I'll have to see if there's any pre-order bonuses, but the kids are gonna love it. Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. That just ties in 9 movies and just so many friggin' bricks to break, and the replayability is gonna be crazy. Getting all the studs, playing through the movies. If they don't break it down by game, and it's just one over enveloping game where there's always a hub for the Lego games. So, like, are they gonna give you bonuses for completing everything? Like, of course they do. They're gonna go hard in the paint with with this one. So this is gonna be super fun to check out, and it's probably something I'm probably gonna get, whether I can find it on sale, or again, if I know I got the whatever the 7th movie was. I can't even remember off the top of my head. Again, it's been late. I got the pre-order for that one, and I got a little minifigure. Oh god, if they give you minifigure, I'm all in. Give me that one for sure. This one's probably one of my most exciting games that are. What am I even saying? One of my games I'm most excited about. Metal Slug Tactics. I'm a huge fan of Metal Slug. I couldn't tell you how much money I've spent on Metal Slug in my life, from the anthology to playing in the arcades and the quarters and stuff. My god, but putting a tactics game around it, it just screams like a match made in heaven, and I cannot wait to see this come out. Continuing with the retro vibe, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge looks so good. Finally getting another official Ninja Turtles beat 'em up, and it doesn't look terrible. It looks great. It doesn't have the new fancy artwork. They're not trying to oversell an art style. It looks good. It looks smooth. The gameplay looks great. God, I can't wait to play this. I think it's only out on the Switch and PC, so I'll probably get it on PC. We'll see what's going on. We should play. Don't forget to buy it when it comes out. Last but not least, and again, this is just a quick list. There's so much more coming out in 2022. I skipped so many. These are just the ones that I am excited to see happen. 2 Point Campus from 2 Point Studios. If you know anything about me, I am a huge fan of 2 Point Hospital. I was a huge fan of Theme Hospital and Theme Park and all those games back in the 90s. I played them all on the computer. And their next IP is 2 Point Campus, where you are in charge of building a university, and it is the same off-the-wall things you expect from the makers of 2 Point Hospital. You're looking at crazy classes you have to create, dorm rooms, keep your students happy, teachers happy. It looks like a lot of fun, continuing the craziness from 2 Point Hospital. So it's almost a little more of the same, but they expanded on more detail in having classes, and you're not confined to just one area, just being the hospital. There's a lot of different things of the campus you're gonna have to deal with. So I'm super excited. Some of these people we have PR relations with. Maybe we can grab a copy and we can get streaming and stuff. Other ones are probably gonna be right out of my pocket. Again, Courage to Golf, I don't care. I'm going to support that game because that looks so fun and I can't wait for that to come out. Anyway, about that time, I've talked more than enough. You probably need to take a nap. Maybe you're just getting to work. Maybe it's lunchtime. Tell me what you're eating for lunch. Tweet at me. Tweet at me at Klutzleo. At Klutzleo. Klutzleo. Let me know what you think about the podcast. Welcome me back. Hell, I don't care. Tell me what games you're excited for in 2022. Tell me what I forgot. Tell me I'm an idiot for what I said earlier. Just talk to me. I love it. I love the interaction. Anyway, thank you all so much for coming back and supporting me and the website. And I know it's been a break. I apologize. I still have things I want to do. I want to do some more tabletop RPG recordings. It's just life has been a lot, and sometimes my free time I need to spend it doing something else other than racking my brain around this. And I have been reading books lately. It's been fun. So hey, if you guys want to, let's start a book club. Talk to me. I'll talk to you guys later. Enjoy the rest of your day or night, depending on when you're listening to this, and I will catch you all the next time we go live. Thank you.